Oh, yes, here we go yet again. Welcome, everybody, to episode 26. That's right, we're halfway through the episode 26 of VidIQ Tuesday Channel Audit live streams with your host, the CAO, the Chief Auditing Officer, Rob Wilson, here to guide you through the next couple of hours as we invite you into our learning hall, our lecture theatre, our YouTube classroom, where myself and other educators are going to share with you their wisdom, their knowledge, their experience as you show a little bit of YouTube vulnerability. You cast your channel up for discussion and critique and hopefully set you up for your next big YouTube milestone, whatever that is, whether it's your first 10 subscribers, your first 1 million views, that gold play button, which I still haven't figured out where I'm going to put it. We're here to help you. And of course, I couldn't do this without my regular cast of co-hosts. And I'm going to introduce first the Chief Gaming Officer of this week, the CGO. That is Dan. How's it going, Jan? Am I getting my acronyms right?
No, you didn't even get close to my title.
It's Chief Gaming Officer. Are you not that
it's
anymore?
Right here.
VP? You're a vice president. Wow.
It's been on my plaque for several minutes, and I'm just upset that you completely looked it over.
So who is the president of audits, and what happens if they get taken out? Like, do you have to swear yourself in as a new... Oh, all right.
There he is.
Hey, Jeff, I wasn't expecting that. You are apparently. Well, here's the thing. Jeff has just spent an entire weekend auditing in the flesh creators' channels. So we thought the best thing to do would be to bring him in for even more audits, even though he probably hasn't got any voice left after VidCon. But Jeff, welcome back. I salute you, sir. I know how tough and strenuous conferences are, and we're very grateful to have you on. How are you feeling? Can you describe VidCon in a single word? That's it. Just noise. Just a noise will do.
Not a single word. It's it seems like I'm a bit on the higher age group for the crowds there, but right. I still had an excellent time. Still got to meet a lot of awesome creators. Got to hang with Sean. He came by the booth and hung out with us for a while. So it was a great time overall for sure.
What a great segue that is, actually, Jeff. Speaking of Sean Cannell, rhymes with channel. He is, of course, the leader at Think Media, but we have one of the officers, an actual genuine officer from Think Media. That is the Chief Operating Officer. I was lucky enough to be on the Think Media podcast for audits last week, and so they thought they would return the favor by bringing on, for I think her 4th appearance on Tuesday Channel Audits, Heather Torres. Welcome back to VidIQ for all of the fun and shenanigans.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited to be here. But I will say, I was slightly disappointed that I didn't get to hang out with Jeff over at VidCon next year. But Rob and I held it down doing channel audits here from home, right, Rob? That's what we do.
Absolutely. And we are so good at audits, Heather, that I did a poll just before we went live, asking our community, do you want a YouTube channel audit from Think Media, since we have you on today? And 78% of people said yes. So with all of that being said, Heather, it's over to you.
All right. Well, I am going to pull up my first audit today. Oh, no, wait. It says the browser cannot access your screen. Different screen to see if it continues. I might have an issue with my screen share, Rob. Let me figure
it's all right. We were just joking. I was just going to let you handle the entire live stream for the next 2 hours, since everybody wants to see you.
I'm here for it.
And none of us. Okay.
I can handle the whole live stream, Rob. Let's do this. but I prefer having Dan and Jeff and you involved in this. When you have to do a live stream by yourself, it is not as fun.
All right then. All right. Let's get back onto it then, folks. I always ask you a question before we just kick off this live stream to try and get into the mood of channel audits. Welcome all of you aboard, do some shout outs. And in North America, we're going to be celebrating our, I guess, Independence Day or country days, like Canada Day is on July the 1st. Independence Day is on July the 4th. And so I want to ask all of you in the live stream, what would you do, whether you're American, Canadian or not, you have public holidays at some points during the year, what would you do on a long weekend? Because I have recently become a Canadian citizen in the last couple of weeks, I'm actually going to be trying to celebrate my new Canadian heritage by going to some events celebrating the day, but also recognizing some of the history around Canada. So that's my intention this weekend. Jeff, what is your Independence Day going to consist of this weekend?
Well, we were going to have family over for barbecue, but that's just not in the cards at the moment. So more likely we'll just have a little private cookout here with just the immediate family.
Food, copious amounts of food. That tends to be the answer for most people on the weekend.
Yeah,
Dan, what about you?
Video games, Legos, a little mix.
Oh, Lego as well.
Yeah, maybe some video games and probably more YouTube stuff, honestly. Just kind of an addict at this point.
You're an Animal Crossing fan, Dan. Can you not build like an American flag in Animal Crossing or anything along those lines?
I could. That would require playing Animal Crossing, which I spent like 2 years in lockdown doing. So I'll probably try to take a break from that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Heather, what are your plans this weekend, if any?
I'm excited because we, as a family, are trying to hit all of the national parks before my kids graduate high school. And so we're actually, this month, we're finishing the Mighty 5 in Utah, and we're going to go to one of the national parks that's there. And trying to remember if it's Capitol Reef, I think is what it's called. So we're going to do that one. We're going to be barbecuing, lake time, all the things. We're going full American is what we're doing, Rob. We're going to have the flags. We're going to have the shirts. My dad served 26 years in the military, and my brother has served for almost 10. And so we go all out patriot here in our family.
Well, I hope you have a fantastic holiday, whatever you are doing. We've got some comments here that have come in from some people who have been preparing for their holidays, probably some fireworks and working on the latest videos. I saw a lot of people actually who intend to use the long weekend to create content, which is awesome. I'm trying to just find some more here. Ruby X Cube is just going to sleep through this long weekend. Jeff approves of that big time. We've got the rival tortoise, a lot of family coming over to hang out, which is awesome stuff. And last but not least, Azur Turk is going to do nothing but edit 24/7. Just don't burn yourself out. Take a break once you've done all of that editing. We are here for channel audits, and so it's probably a good idea to tell you how these channel audits work with a 60-second explainer. And while that is being explained to you, if you're new, do let us know in the chat to this live stream. Or if you are a long-time visitor to our audits, thank you very much, and welcome in those new guests. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live stream, where we review your YouTube channels. To submit your channel for review, make sure to fill out the right form linked in the video description. Note that we clear these forms after every live stream, so make sure to resubmit the following week. Channel audits are free, so please don't send us a super chat or spam us in a chat expecting a review. If there are alternative ways to get picked for an audit, we will let you know during the live stream. If we don't get around to reviewing your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 with you. Make sure to download our tools and use the 30-day free trial using a link in the video description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our moderators who do a phenomenal job every single week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As for all of you, well, thumbs up if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and if you know of a fellow creator who may find all of his stuff useful, please do share it with them. And with all of that being said, let's start auditing your channels. Final bits of housekeeping. As always, we continue to support Creators for Peace. This is an initiative that we started a couple of months ago to help displaced children in Ukraine. So if you do see a fundraiser panel on the live stream and you want to donate, we very much appreciate it. As said, it doesn't influence whether or not we audit your channels. We get hundreds of channel submissions every single week, and we have audited thousands of channels at this point over the 5 years that I've been doing this. we haven't audited another 100,000 channels that have submitted. And those are terrifying numbers when I actually think about it. So what I recommend you do is, if possible, bring up your channel on a second screen so that when we're talking about a vlogging channel, a tech channel, a gaming channel, we're talking about consistency, channel focus, titles, thumbnails, fundamentals, you can see how they may apply to your channel. Because we're not just here for one creator and what they need. We're here for the 500 people who are watching and how we can help you collectively. With all of that being said, let's start auditing your channels. And the first channel that submitted on the form when the live stream went public yesterday was R&B Fishing. And since this person has had a very stressful, tough weekend, their voice is probably shattered. Jeff, I'm going to throw it open to you to start off this channel auditing. What are you seeing here?
So R&B Fishing. So just from the name, I was hoping that they were, you know, like fishing while singing R&B jams from the 90s. Like that would have been what I was hoping for. You know, a little Boys to Men action out on the water. But alas, we do not have that. But one thing I will say though, 355 subscribers. The live streams for their VODs, you know, their actual videos are exceptional. Like they're very clean thumbnails. Big bass caught in private lake. You know, titles are to the point, so they got some good stuff going on here for them. Mix of shorts as well. Let's see here. What are we looking at? 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So looks like they're doing a full video maybe every 2-ish weeks or so. So a little bit weird on the consistency. Looks like they took a break about 3 months ago. So a little bit weird on that. But aside from that, I mean, this is what all I'm getting from this is fishing. So that's great. There's no mixed messaging here. This is obviously what we're doing. I'm just not sure if it's like how-to fishing or just kind of showing their adventures. That's the only thing I'm not sure about. But I don't know what you guys are picking up from this.
Dan, you and I, whenever we talk about fishing channels, we talk about the most important thing in a thumbnail, which is the catch. And I think already in this creator's journey, as they work towards 1,000 subscribers, they're pretty much nailing that thumbnail style already, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I would say some examples better than others. I'll take the latest thumbnail, for example. I think it's the right idea, right? It's them, they're holding the fish up, you know, and it's taking up a good portion of the thumbnail. It's just, we have a green fish on like a green background. So like, these are just little things. I would have almost liked to see like a blue sky in like just straight blue, you know, behind them, just to add that contrast. You know, these are just little tweaks I would make. Yeah. And then I like the concept. I think you kind of went for a challenge route with this, like not really a challenge, but you know, they did something a little more daring. So I like that you've kind of taken the fishing channel and brought it to like that next kind of like rung on the ladder. I think that's pretty creative.
And any final thoughts from you, Heather? And I can remember the last channel that we audited on the Think Media podcast last week was a fishing channel, and we were saying, you know, this is a perfect template. Is this like a similar fishing channel in that area?
Yeah, this is, I would say, maybe just a couple improvements. I always go to the header also of, you know, what are you doing? Because this is your homepage basically for people to be looking at and getting a better idea. Now, of course, the name makes sense, but all I'm seeing is just water, which is a beautiful photo, but that's real estate that you could be using. So I want you to maybe spice that up a little bit. I do like that they're sending they're sending to other social media platforms. But as I recommend for anyone who wants to create a business around their YouTube channel, where are you sending someone to go deeper with you? And if it is Instagram, then that's great. But are you able to send them deeper into, you know, the 10 things like an opt-in or a website or something like that could actually send someone? And then, yep, Rob's bringing up that about page. Your about page really is like your mini resume. If I were to meet you in an elevator, I would ask you, what's your channel about? And you want to make sure that you are writing the resume for the person that you want to watch your channel. So you should use a lot of words like you can find things like, and you want to make sure that you are really making this about the person and not about yourself. So I have a couple examples as we go into these different channel reviews of really great things that you can do. But I want to applaud this creator. I mean, what did it say? We're 1 million views already on their channel. I think, is that what I saw?
60,000.
Oh, 60,000. Nope. Okay. Sorry. I'm seeing little numbers and my eyes I'm kind of like Jeff. I'm a little aged in the
Let me
years.
help you
So.
there. I'll zoom in a bit so we've got some bigger thumbnails there.
Yeah, there we go.
Just to look
Yeah,
at.
60,000. So, really great job on that. And then even like where it says part 2, we see a lot of creators do this, where they're making several parts to a video, or they're giving more context in multiple videos, right? You don't actually have to put the part 2 in your title. That again
No.
is real estate. That does not have to be spoken, because if I'm coming in at part 2, you can just verbally tell me that there is a part 1, or you can have a pop-up come up in your video to tell me that there's a part 1, or you have this in a playlist. And at the end you say, hey, if you've not watched the full playlist, make sure you go back to the beginning of this series. So there's other ways to do that without losing out on that critical real estate for what you're doing.
Okay, I have a little bit of a assignment for you, Jeff. I'm going to offer one creator a free channel audit with the best boys to men fish-based lyrics. So, Jeff, if you keep an eye on the chat for me, and if there's any really funny ones, they may get a channel audit. So do your worst, so to speak.
I'll do what I can to try to keep an eye on it.
Cool. All right, let's audit the next channel. This is the first gaming channel that submitted this week. They are called Gold. They have 64 subscribers. And Dan, I'm just going to take a quick look at the top row of videos, and I see Overwatch, I see Elden Ring, and then I see something about Uno, and I'm already thinking about channel focus for this gaming channel.
So yeah, we did pull up this channel for like a brief moment before the stream went live. Like you were kind of clicking through the tabs, and I that was the first thing I picked up on, was like lots of things, you know. But what I also picked up on is the effort that they're putting into thumbnails. I do appreciate how much time they're putting into these. I would almost say that, we'll get to channel focus in a second. I would almost say for your thumbnails, you're almost putting a little too much time in the fact that you're putting so many elements in some of these thumbnails. And a good example is the Uno one, where you have your logo and an Uno card. And like, I get it, you're kind of like memeing the Will Smith slap, but there's so many kind of visual things going on, and it's not clear. You know, it's not very clear. And that's the kind of thing that ends up happening when you put too many elements into a thumbnail.
I think what sends this thumbnail over the top, Dan, is the Uno background.
Yes.
I don't think that's needed, or it should be blurred out, because you have that single Uno card there, which is enough information to that extent of the card game is going to be involved in this video.
Yeah, I also think that the logo doesn't help. Like their logo isn't really made for what they're trying to use it for. It's dark. It's just the letter G, and it kind of just looks like some squiggly lines when it's small. You know what I mean? It's just hard to see what's going on. So these are just like things I'd be watching for, because if people look at your thumbnails and they have to think for even an extra second of what's this video about, they're not really going to spend the time thinking about it. They're just going to keep scrolling. Back to channel focus. It is the biggest critique I think we have every week of gaming channels. If you're playing too many different games, if you're all over the place, it's really tough to build that consistent audience, that returning viewership that you want. So Overwatch and Uno could not be like farther apart in terms of the types of games they are. And so if someone subscribes for Overwatch content, and then you're uploading other board games and things like that you played, they're not really sure what they're going to get the next time they check out your channel. You know what I mean? YouTube's going to put that in the home feed for them. Hey, you like Gold, and they uploaded a new video and survived the internet, and they're like, I like the Overwatch stuff. They're not going to click. And the longer you go away from Overwatch, for example, the more that particular viewer is not going to click, and eventually YouTube will just stop recommending your content to them. So you really want a clear through line for all of your content. And the most common advice we give here is play one game. Play your favorite game, play the one you're best at. And that can be a really easy way for you to kind of build up a following. But there's other ways to do it too. Another example I bring up a lot is Let's Game It Out, who plays many different games. But the common through line for them is they basically break the game. So it's not really so much about an individual game, but the way they play it. So you can also be a variety gaming channel, but it's a lot harder to do. And you have to have a really creative element to that. So as you're getting started, I still recommend one game. Just start there, build up an audience, cut your teeth a little bit in this game we call YouTube, and channel focus. That's my speech. I had nothing else.
Dan, you've just covered everything, really. The last thing that I was going to mention is, when you talk about through line, if you look at starting from here, and then you look at each subsequent title and thumbnail, you wouldn't necessarily know that these are from the same creator. I would suggest, given the style of a thumbnail and the focus of the topic, so that, as you say, Dan, when a viewer watches maybe this video and thinks, yeah, that's pretty good, it's about Jackbox game, all right, nice, and then they see this thumbnail in the browse and suggested, you don't instinctively know that it's from the gold channel. And you've already talked in excess really about the channel focus. They do keep returning to Overwatch 2. Broadly speaking, maybe 1 in every 3 videos is that focus. But beyond that, it kind of feels like whatever game fits the context of what they're talking about. So I don't think this is necessarily tutorials or even like a let's play of a particular game. It seems to be fun critiques of things that happen in games.
Yeah,
that feels like what their through line is, but they haven't perhaps built the audience yet to be able to jump from one game to the next.
Yes, I can kind of see that. Like looking through some of these titles, it does look like they're taking the games and doing something different with them. But I still think like going from Elden Ring to Overwatch is just tough. It's still a tough pivot. If you're going to do that kind of content, you want to try to appeal to an audience that would like Overwatch, but also what's a game like Overwatch? Fortnite, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That I would expect a little bit more.
Okay, let's move on to the next channel. This channel is going to be Ashley Brianna. And I think, Heather, this was one of the ones that you pre-selected. So do let me know because I see you're wanting to share your screen as well. Do let me know if you want me to bring up your screen, if you want to show anything in particular. But let's take a look at the channel and what are your first impressions?
Yeah, so I can tell that this is a newer creator. She's been creating about a year, but the consistency of the videos that are going up has really started to be more so in the last few months. So I can see that she's really started to make an effort into making content on the platform. And here's what I see happen a lot of times when people come to YouTube and they don't quite have an audience that they want to serve. They kind of bucket themselves, especially young women, we bucket ourselves into like lifestyle. And that is still such a broad niche. And so I would really want to encourage Ashley to really figure out, what are you proficient in? What is a profitable niche? And what are you passionate about? Because at this moment, Ashley, your current channel really seems more like a hobby channel. And I want to help make creators that are making money that can support their lifestyle. And so with that, Ashley, I want to just encourage you to go deeper in figuring out, what are you passionate about? Now, creating vlogs and including your lifestyle and beauty can be a part of that. But I want you to really figure out, are you for young women who are in college that need help with 5-minute makeup tutorials? Are you are you someone who travels on a budget and you want to be able to do that? Are you someone who likes to test out fast food? I see that that's part of what you're doing as well. Really try to hone in a little bit more on the type of content you want to create. One thing I will say is creating a consistency in your thumbnails will create a consistency in your overall branding. Right now, it is very I call this like this is kind of the YouTuber vibe, right? When you look at these thumbnails, it's very YouTuber vibe. And I just want to know, Ashley, who are you trying to attract? Because as you start to create more content, you'll start to see more of a consistency in who you want to attract. I would say too that you're experimenting with short form content, but it feels like you're bringing the content from, say, TikTok into YouTube, and it doesn't necessarily serve a purpose. So every content creator, I want you to write this down. What is the value I'm bringing to the marketplace? What's the value? So when you look at the types of content you're creating, to me, I'm not seeing the value that's coming to the marketplace. They're fun videos that you can make if you want to make it as a hobby. But if you're trying to make YouTube a career, if you're trying to make YouTube something that can help you get out of debt or fund your vacations or, fund your 401k, whatever you want that to be, buy your house, then we've got to get more strategic about the type of content you're doing. Because I don't want you to waste time on YouTube. I do think that experimenting with short form content is great for most creators, especially when they're getting started. So I do like that you're doing that. And I would say figuring out your about page and really honing in on what you want this channel to be about is going to help you decide what type of content you're creating. So those are just a couple things that I'm seeing here when it comes to this type of channel. And I don't know, you guys see this a lot happen on YouTube when people just start coming to the platform, Jeff?
Oh, totally. And that's one of the things we always have to kind of fight against is the ands, right? Like I'm doing this and this and this.
Commas and
Yeah.
the word and. The more you
Yeah,
insert
it's-
in your description, the more diluted the target audience is.
Right. And that was
Yeah,
a
when
big
you're-
focus at VidCon with a lot of the people that I spoke with was focus.
Yeah, because when you look at this right now, it's beauty, vlogs, lifestyle, mukbang. That is 4 separate types of channels that you could be doing. And I'm just looking at what you're doing, Ashley, and I know that you have gifts and talents, you have experiences, you have a place that you can bring your voice to the market, and I want you to really decide what that is.
I'm just highlighting like each of the videos, which could be different channels in themselves, because we've got like a mukbang channel here, and I got nearly 1,000 views. Brilliant. We've got a Netflix recommendations here. We've got shopping hauls, and the one that I found really interesting, but would be for it to cater to a very defined niche, but could also be a business in itself. Heather, was this one about my modeling experience. She's probably got so much to share and advice to share there, but it can't just be one video in 50 on a channel. It has to be a series on a dedicated channel itself, in my opinion.
Yep, I completely agree. And I think this is one of the hardest struggles as a creator, because we're multifaceted people, right? Like I love RVing, and I'm also a homeschool mom, and I'm a YouTube educator, and like, you know, there's all these pieces of me. And so sometimes it can be hard to just project one of those pieces. But the law of influence online is you have to break through as one thing first, and then you can start talking about multiple things, or be using different platforms for different things. I talk a lot more on Instagram about my homeschooling journey than I do at all on YouTube. So I think it's figuring out where you want to be present and what you want to be doing, and really reverse engineering what is the end result. Like, why are you making videos on the platform? Why are you spending your time doing this? Is because you want to make a career out of it? Well, then we've got to reverse engineer what that career could be, so that you can start making the right type of content that will help you get to that final goal.
So just sorted by most popular and discounting shorts, your most popular videos are shopping hauls, it seems to be. So that's, I think, currently where the majority of your audience is. And you're going to have to make a decision whether you double down on that or you decide on another one of your various niches that you want to target. Heather, you just dropped a knowledge bomb there, but I don't have a sound effect for an explosion. So instead, you just dropped a knowledge air horn, which is awesome. And let's find out a little bit more about what you do with Think Media.
Well, thanks, Rob. Well, Think Media is, we are a group of creators helping you build the tips and tools to grow your influence with YouTube. We focus on a lot of the tools to become creative. So that's, you know, what do you need to actually be making great videos? And through that, we also do YouTube education. So we're here to help understand modern day marketing for this platform. And so myself, Sean Cannell, Omar Altakori, and Nolan Molt are the 4 creators a part of Think Media, where we really want to just help you become great at creating. And so we focus content 7 days a week now on our channel to be able to help you do that. Now, I say that when we started Think Media, we did 1 video a week for the first 5 years. So don't feel like 7 videos. We are a team of creators now making that possible. And we also go deeper over on our Think Media podcast. So if you are not subscribed there, you can head to the Think Media podcast channel. And that's where we go deeper into conversations like, how do you deal with burnout? And what do you do if you have an unsupportive family member when you're trying to create content? Or how do you actually brand yourself online? How do you build a business around this? Because we see that that's one of the main struggles. People will start creating content, and then they're just kind of on this hamster wheel of always in creation mode and never really seeing what the fruits of that could be. And so we really help people go deeper into building their online influence. I love the quote from Jay-Z. He says, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a business." man. And so we help people understand that they can actually be building businesses around things that they're passionate about. Like Mary, who I didn't share with you here beforehand, but Mary is a part of our community. She just hit 700,000 subscribers. Mary's Nest. She's going deep on homesteading, and she's killing it because she understands the power of building a personal brand around her YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, definitely head over. This is my cheeky plug in making sure that you're subscribed to the Think Media podcast as well as the Think Media channel.
Couple of things I love about Think Media is, first of all, we infiltrate everything. I love the fact that VidIQ has a little bit of a banner in the background there. And I was also delighted to see that in your latest video on the Think Media main channel, it's like, oh, there might be something controversial here. Do YouTube tags help get views in 2022? You know, we're all debating that, and I think, oh, Heather's going to have something really valuable to tell me here. And it's me,
and it's you.
I'm on there worrying about the wrong thing. And so that was one of the clips that we lifted from our audits, I think, on the podcast and put on the main channel. So I'm glad to see that I'm getting everywhere on YouTube. But as you say, I'm just on there once every 100 videos. You do videos 7 days a week, and you know, congratulations on 2 million subscribers as well. Does that mean you can buy some more gold play buttons to share amongst your staff?
You know, we actually, did you know that you can get up to 3 play buttons? We didn't even know this, and we met someone at YouTube, and that's how I have one and Sean has one, and we were able to get a multiple. But you know, you can't take subscribers to the bank, Rob. It's all about actually building below the iceberg, and that's actually a big part of what we do at Think Media. We're a team of 25 people, and we really go heavy into the education side of YouTube and of becoming a content creator.
I know we're just massively flexing right now and wasting everybody's channel audit time, but did you buy the gold letter as well that you can get?
Just this guy. That's all I got. Just this guy. Yep.
Yeah, Rob didn't have room for
Rob. Rob got the gold letter. Man, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's terrible for filming that. It reflects everything. So
they don't send you another gold play button every million subscribers. Wow, the first world problem, Heather. Darn, but you have to wait till 10 million to get another reward. I'm like, that's a long stretch, you know, from 1 million to 10. But we're on a goal to make that happen. So
anyway, let's get back on topic with this. Close your eyes, catch a fish. I will be your fryer. I will fry your fish tonight. We're going to celebrate frying fish all through the night. Hold the line, light the fire. Girl, your lure is my command.
Yeah, they got me. They got me.
Brilliant.
With that one too.
Brilliant. Jeff, are you able to find that channel maybe? And we can, if you send it in private chat, we'll try and bring them up for an audit.
Sure.
Let's see if I can find it. Thank you very much.
I think that's, let's see. I start a whole bunch of comments.
I love doing stuff like this. Like
tell your story is what it is.
I like to do stuff like where we do YouTube jargon as sports franchises, and so I was doing like the Seattle subscribers and the Vancouver viewers and Washington watch time. And the best one I've come up with so far is the Timbuktu factor authenticators. But anyway, I'm going off in a complete random tangent. We'll save that for another live stream. Let's audit another channel. We need to get back into it. We're going to look at this channel called Izzy Verse. I think, Jeff, was this the one that you picked or was it me?
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to find the channel, but I'm putting it in the private chat here real quick.
Cool. Right, we'll bring it up later on.
All right. So yeah. So this is the one that I had fished out of the submission list. Caught my eye. So I was thinking, you know, I saw what they put in there was comics and wrestling, which I was like, hey, that's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
Not two things that I would normally put together as a channel, but for, you know, personal interest, yeah, of course, why not, right? So pulled them up, 754 subscribers. One of the things that I noticed immediately was that they had very, very busy thumbnails, and they do have a recurring series on their channel, which is new comics you need to read this week. One of the tips that I wanted to give them, and obviously you guys can feel free to elaborate on this if you feel, is they're putting 4 comic books on this thumbnail. And I would suggest that they narrow that down to 1, whichever one is the most popular from this week, or whichever one has the most gravitas, the most strength, the most search volume, if anything, and have that one you know, what's more popular. Pick that one, put that one as the cover. Doesn't mean you can't talk about the other one still. Just make sure that that one is the one, because right now it just looks too busy. Even though it's like new comics, cool, but focus on one for the thumbnail so there's less confusion. Because when I brought this channel up, anytime we're going to look at a channel or one of the ones I pick, I usually bring them up on mobile device to see how their thumbnails look, and it was just way too busy. So that was just a little chunk of advice, but you know, I'll kick it over to you guys and see what you guys think.
I was thinking remove Izzy Verse as well, because as much as that might be relatable to your existing audience and yourself, it makes it less accessible for a new viewer. Like, what does Izzy Verse mean to 99.9% of your audience? And as you were saying, Jeff, if you just take one of these comics, what that allows you to do is maybe add an opinion on that comic, like outdated or like reboots, you know, something that enhances the description of one of those comics. Yeah. Because as you say, if you're going to cover the top 10 movies, you don't put all 10 movies on the thumbnail. You choose maybe the most controversial one, or one that the viewer doesn't expect, to create curiosity and intrigue. Right. Dan, thoughts?
I definitely agree with everything. I like, as you were just saying that, I can just imagine the thumbnail of just like the comic, an arrow and some text, you know, just dead simple. I think that alone is quite a bit of homework for this channel. That's a pretty radical change from what they're doing. I see they're doing live streams as well. I'd be kind of curious to know, like, after like a 2-hour live stream, like what is that like compared to a 5-minute video? Because it seems like they're just reviewing comics similar to what you would do in like a 5-minute video. So I wonder how they structure those as well. You can definitely plan out live streams. You should. People do go back and watch them after the fact.
Oh no, 100%, man. And that's one of the things where, you know, when it comes down to streaming, focus and structure really help. That's if you want your live streams to work for you after the fact as a video on demand. So if you go into it with a game plan, title it, thumbnail it like you would regular video, it can truly work in your favor. And then back on the thumbnails, one of the things I would recommend for this channel, check out Comics Explained, check out Comicstorian, look at some of those top channels when it comes to that. And even if you're going to talk about like Obi-Wan or, you know, any of the shows, anything like that, always do thumbnail research beforehand to get an idea of what is actually getting clicked, because you'll notice that a lot of those times the bigger videos are usually going to focus on 1 or 2 elements at most. Yeah. So a little simpler, but a lot cleaner, and there's less confusion in those thumbnails.
And just my opinion, I feel as if the wrestling stuff is a creator indulgence that is interfering with the main focus of the channel. I know we have an example here of one of the wrestling live streams, which got like 63 views there, and another one here with 270 views. I don't know how that's comparing to everything else, but I just don't feel as if there's a strong enough Venn diagram that's going to get comic book audiences and wrestling audiences together in one place. Agreed. And that's just one of those channel focused things that we've already been talking about.
No, I agree. Even stuff that's close to each other sometimes just doesn't work. Like if I do a speaker review on my channel, which you think would be like right on the money, audio, you know, and everything and tech. Nope. Not it. So
Heather, I am going to bring Joe's phenomenal into our channel auditing. I think Joe, from what I remember, this is like a pure coincidence. I think the last time Joe's channel was audited, and he's been like a long-serving member of the live streaming community. He's in the chat all of the time, one of our moderators. I remember Sean Cannell actually did a live stream with him while he was on the show as well. So it's kind of like, you know, as George Lucas says, you know, it's poetry. It goes around, whatever he said, it goes. What did he say? What was that famous George Lucas phrase?
You got me.
It's poetry. It rhymes to try and explain the prequels and the sequels. Anyway, I'm waffling completely. Joe's phenomenal. Heather, what do you think of this channel?
Okay, well, there are a lot of things that Joe is doing really well on this channel. And to me, when I see Joe's channel, I'm like, this is going to be a success. It already is a success. He's already monetizing. He's already, you can tell he's definitely doubling down on his YouTube content because he's now posting multiple times a week. And there's something that Joe really did to break through in the market in the space that he's in. One, I love that he's already an entrepreneur. So he already has something he wants to sell. So now now he's able to create an audience that will want the products that he has to sell. But here's what he did. One of the 16 different video models that we teach at Think Media is review specific products. We call that RSP, review specific products. And Joe's doing a phenomenal job of seeing success. When you see, right, what success leaves clues. So make part twos is what we talk about, because every single, wow, I'm just like on the alliterations here. Every single hook you put into the ocean is another time to catch a fish. All right. Are you catching all my analogies, guys? So here's what Joe is doing really great. He saw that the Ninja Food Pro was actually giving him some velocity, some great views. And so he doubled down on that, and he decided to go to different types of videos that he could make around that same exact product. And this is something I want other creators to do. It's not just about making that one video. It's about the 10 videos that you can make on that one product. And you see this, we do this over and over and over at Think Media. We actually have a list now that whenever we get a new camera, whether we buy it or we're partnering with a company like Sony or Canon, when we receive that product, we have 10 different videos that we know we're going to make about that product, because we know that every single one of those is a hook in the ocean. So how about this camera versus the last version? How about this camera, easy walkthrough tutorial for beginners, how to do the settings? We have each one of those videos, and you can tell that Joe is actually doing exactly this. So he saw success and he's making that happen. Another thing that we hear too is when you look at Joe's about page, he talks about the different types of videos that he's creating. And one thing you don't see is he doesn't say, I am a ninja review channel. And this is what happens with a lot of creators. They're like, well, I don't want to review something because that's not what I'm doing. He obviously is an entrepreneur who has salad dressings. He wants to be around healthy cooking and healthy living, but he understands that the products are a byproduct to the thing he actually is doing, right? Like that is in a similar space. So I want you to think about, what are the products and services that you're currently using? We talk about vidIQ all the time. Why? Because it's a product that we use. And because of that, we're able to make a small commission by being an affiliate with this company. Same as what Joe's doing. He is an affiliate for Amazon. So anytime someone buys a Ninja or anything else on Amazon for 24 hours, he gets a % of that sale. So I think Joe's doing a really great job in really understanding the keywords. And you guys teach this a lot, Rob, of understanding that you could be taking keywords, plugging them into vidIQ, and getting a list of videos that you could be creating with that. Yeah. Now, I would say to give Joe some coaching feedback, I want you to be studying food photography. I say this to anyone who has a food cooking channel. You need to study food photography, because there is certain skills, the different lighting that you have on it, the way you edit it will make it look even more delicious. Like there's a reason that the Big Mac looks so good, right? It's the way that they've made it look. It doesn't look like that when you open it, right? But the way that they've photographed it, the way they video it is its own style. So I want you, Joe, to really be studying. Since cooking is a big part of your channel, be studying the skill of understanding how to do food photography. I also love that he's got really great branding. That blue is very distinct to his brand, so you can see that. And I would say that, even with the schedule that he's put himself on, he still is hitting the right market because he's mixing up the type of content. So he knows the person he's trying to serve, and he's mixing up the type of content that he's producing so that it's keeping people interested. Because what you want to make sure is that when you're producing content on your channel, that people aren't just scrolling by because you're making too much of the same thing. So when you are able to mix up different types of content, it keeps people intrigued into you as the creator, and also becoming reoccurring viewers, because they are interested in this and they're interested in that. And so it'll come up on their homepage and they may want to click through to subscribe. So that's just a couple things that I'm seeing that Joe's doing really well. Those would be some critiques that I have for him. And I would also say too, he's sending people to his website. Now, this is just a channel review, but overall in your messaging, when you're inside of your videos, Joe, I just want to make sure that you're sending people to the next right step. And in the top fold of the 3 lines that you have available on YouTube in your description, you're sending them to another YouTube video. which is great because you're keeping them in the YouTube world. But if your ultimate goal, Joe, is to sell that salad dressing, I need you to be sending them to your website. I need you to be giving them a special coupon code. I need you to be thinking about, how do I move someone from here to the next step that they need? And their next step doesn't necessarily need to be YouTube specifically. So that would be just some critiques for what Joe's doing. You guys see anything else?
I was just thinking in terms of calls to action, not many people have realized this yet, but you can use external links now quite liberally on YouTube. It used to be that you could only use a certain external link on YouTube, but now you can use one as long as it's validated, and YouTube validates it as you're typing it in the back end. So, that may be an opportunity on your end screen or on a card to send them to something to download, which may be an opportunity there.
You could put links, even affiliate links, as a end screen now. So that's an option there. Yep. So like if it's something that I'm specifically want to send traffic to, at least just on that particular end screen, I'll have the video that I'm sending them to, but next to that, I won't have a subscribe or another video. It'll just be the link to that specific product if they want to check it out.
And as a fantastic segue, Heather, into one of our tools, I quickly just put Ninja Foodie into our keyword research tool, and then looked at on our web app. You can do this thing where you can turn a keyword into questions. And so from Ninja Foodie as your keyword, had all of these different types of questions. How do I cook burgers in my Ninja Foodie? Or how to make kale food? Or what can I cook in my Ninja Foodie? Like, do you remember that gives me an idea? I know this is a bit off field, but the channel that used to do Will It Blend, and they put iPhones in there and everything. I wonder if you could just start, what will my food ninja cook, whether it is food or not? Probably don't try that at home. That's just my crazy head figuring out different ideas. But here are all of the how-tos in terms of a food ninja. Like 150 ideas potentially here. Wow. And that is one of our tools.
I love this tool
from VidIQ. And we've got a link in the description, which will allow you a 30-day free trial, which will give you access to this. And also, because I completely forgot to show this tool earlier on, our title recommender. I was going to do this when we were talking about YouTube tags. And so it generated tags such as, you could go one of two ways. YouTube tags 101, the only guide you need, like a positive look at YouTube tags in 2022, or the death of YouTube tags. And I think that either angle could be really interesting to use if you were going to talk about YouTube tags or whatever you want to put in your title, and it will automatically generate some cool ideas. And if you're not happy with that, you just click refresh and you get another 5
Hey, Rob,
to use. Yeah, Jeff.
Don't forget that the video title generator is also available on the web app. So if you want to use it as part of a research function before you're uploading a video to find different angles on a particular idea, then definitely do that in conjunction with this questions when you do the keyword research. So you can really find some different angles to take. And then having that, stuff beforehand, you can keep that same energy going into the video.
There we are. So I've just quickly done that. 10 ninja food recipes that will blow your mind. 5 ninja food recipes you could try. So again, more ideas popping into our head. Joe's phenomenal. I hope you'll be screenshotting all of these ideas because I'm not going through them again. Rewind the live stream, take a screenshot, and we expect you to make all 200 videos that we've just suggested to you over the next year.
I can see Joe right now just furiously writing everything down.
So yeah, those are our tools. Do make sure to check them out. And we'll move on to the next channel audit, which is Calaxis. I'm going to describe that as. And Jeff, I would like you to start talking about this channel. And there's going to be a reason why you're talking about it.
Sure.
Soon.
Yeah, he's one of our VidIQ Max members. So shout out to all of my VidIQ Max peoples that are chilling right now. They're usually hanging out in our private Discord. Newer creator. So 2 videos have come out. Thumbnails are looking spectacular, and he is getting a lot of, or he or she, they are getting a lot of feedback on these thumbnails. They're putting up 4 or 5 different options in our private Discord, getting the ideas from the community on how to kind of make them pop a little bit more. And to me, they're looking excellent. Like, I wish my thumbnails looked like this when I had 36 subscribers.
Sure,
like, I was like, this is, like, look at the Yeti, look at how it pops in that thumbnail. versus the background and stuff. And then the Mothman too, like that's such a good with the reflection on the water. So yeah, excellent. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. From what I'm taking from this channel is cryptids is what we're going after. So
what
I
is
believe
that?
what's that?
Cryptid. I've never come
cryptid.
across this term before.
Oh, okay, so cryptids are usually like either undiscovered or kind of like legendary animals, creatures, things of that nature.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot,
Cool.
Yeti, Mothman, Thunderbird, stuff like that. Yeah. But one of the things I will say though, just from looking at it and kind of to take a note or echo what Heather said, we definitely need to do something about that banner. So we want to make sure you have that value proposition. Like, so somebody lands on here, your name isn't going to tell us anything. So, it's not like it's, Jeff's cryptid channel or, the history of cryptids or something, it's nothing like that. So the channel banner is really going to be what's going to tell people, hey, you've landed in the right place if you want to know about cryptids and creepy animals and things of that nature. So I want you to give it some thought. 3 words or less, if you can get that value proposition in. I know for myself on my own channel, finally, after 3 years, I finally got my own value proposition down, and it's headphones and earbuds simplified. Like that's as simple as I can say it, but it's exactly the value proposition that I'm trying to give you as a viewer. So that's what makes sense. So if we can find a way of doing that for you, I think that'd be a good place to start.
I think the channel icon profile picture feels a little gamified as well.
Correct.
And this isn't top of the list of things to change, but yeah, if we want to try and get a consistent branding for this channel throughout, the banner, the channel icon, and the thumbnails, then maybe have a look at that as well. I know we haven't got too much to go on here with only 2 videos, but Dan, anything you've spotted?
Yeah, I thought it was a gaming channel. It took me a while because I thought they were horror games they were covering based on the thumbnails, and the name and the logo really made me think gaming channel. So that's, again, I would not say that should be the first thing you should work on. I would be focused on getting as many videos on your channel as possible. What I will say is that I think it's really easy to go down this rabbit hole of like, I'm going to find every creature that is, people tell myths about, and I'm going to do those as like one individual video, one at a time. I think one idea you should explore is doing, maybe not all in a row, but doing several videos on Mothman, several videos on Abominable Snowman. Try to get little videos about like stories that people have told, about this creature. You have like a one video that kind of says, what is the Mothman, right? And that explains what it is. But then you go on to do other things with that particular like beast, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I think I would be focused on, because I think it'd be really easy to run out of like characters, pretty quickly. There also could just be, if let's say you have like 1,000 of these, even then there could be favorites. There could be ones that people like to learn about more. So having like that, giving yourself that permission to kind of double down on these early on, I think is going to be important.
Oh no, for sure. And this is one thing where one of the things that I like to do whenever I have an idea for a video is I come up with multiple titles or multiple ideas around it, right? So you have that one main idea. So here's the Yeti, and now we're going to say, what is the Yeti, right? But then the next video could be something like top 5 stories about the Yeti from eyewitnesses, or the next one could be what to do in case you encounter one, or whatever it might be. But come up with multiple ideas. And one of the main reasons I like doing this, first of all, you should do it anyway just to get content on your channel. You want to get some volume on there. You want to get some, give people a place to go next is really what it comes down to. But in addition to this, if you ever have a video pop off, you don't want to be left high and dry trying to figure out, oh my God, how can I double down on this? You're already going to have titles and thumbnails ready to go for those next videos so that you can strike immediately. So that's been one of the better strategies that's worked for me. I've seen a lot of channels do this as well. A little bit of that pre-research and planning can go a long way in the future.
All looks like good stuff to me. I mean, from 2 videos, you've already got one that's got more than 50 views. That's a breakthrough. You've created 2 videos over the first week, so consistency has been established there. I agree with you. The thumbnails are a pretty high standard, and you're already approaching 50 subscribers. So lots of things to celebrate here for Calaxis. Jeff, why are we auditing this channel? What is VidIQ Max? Why should people care? Because apparently nearly 60% of our audience today are brand new to this live stream.
So VidIQ Max is our group coaching program. So basically, we're here to help you grow your channel, grow your views, and really learn how to take YouTube to the next level, in multiple different ways, depending on what your goals are. And the beauty of it is you actually get to learn with 3 coaches, not just one. You're learning with myself, my partner Alexi, and Travis as well. You guys have seen both of them on the streams. So we're answering questions. We're having guaranteeing 2 sessions per month, but to be honest, we've been doing nearly weekly sessions with the exception of last week when we were at VidCon. So I think we went 5 or 6 weeks straight delivering value, and we're also bringing in guests. So we're having guest spot, which recently we just had Ian Corzine come in and gave an amazing session about copyrights. It was phenomenal. I was learning stuff. I was like furiously writing things down like, wow. So we're doing that. Plus, we also have a private Discord, and that's where huge value comes in because we have creators of all different levels, types, experience, and they're constantly helping each other out. So huge shout out to my Discord gang. I see you guys. I hear the pings going off in the background of my headphones. So I see you guys. But yeah, this is really what we're here for, is to try to grow together. We're seeing some excellent success. And to me, completely honest, I think Travis put it best. You'd have to not want to grow your channel to not join VidIQ Max.
Ooh, nice. Just to add from the VidIQ perspective, we've already been talking about the AI title generator and the suggestions of turning keywords into questions. Also, we have the thumbnail preview tool where you can compare. Look at that. Nolan has just taken YouTube tags to town with 500,000 views there. But you can compare your thumbnail. I mean, in this case, our thumbnail compares terribly with Nolan's, and we'd have to think up of a better title and thumbnail. But that is a thumbnail preview tool. And all of this, everything at VidIQ that we've made already in terms of tools and the Learning Academy, that's all included with VidIQ Max.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, if you want to learn more about it, then there's a link in the description, which will take you to this landing page, and we'll give you a bit more about how much it costs. We appreciate that this does have a bit of a cost to it, and it is for a creator who is really wanting to take their channel to the next level. That's why we continue to provide all of this free software and video content. But if you do want to take Max and your channel to the next level, as Jeff said, you get all of these interesting extra perks that we don't kind of hint at. For example, the reason that channel, the reason Calaxis got audited is because they have their own special audit form, and there's only 4 people who filled out that form this week. So that minimized the chance of you getting audited to like a 1 in 4 chance, which is pretty incredible. But we don't share that, except for the 500 people who are watching this live stream. So that's just one of the extra perks that we don't openly advertise. So link in the description. Do take advantage of VidIQ Max if you wish to. For now, we're going to go back to one of the channels that are submitted on our regular form. And this is, I'll see if I can pronounce this correctly first time, Abba, Niffy, Puddle Duck. Dan, you chose this channel. Where are we going with this one?
He's trying to throw you off. That's what it was.
Abernathy Puddle Duck. Yeah. So I saw this channel pop up and they labeled themselves as a comedy channel. I'm like, all right, I'll bite. And there's like a couple things I loved right off the bat. They have a number of characters that they do in their videos, and the sheer variety of things they are doing just based on the titles and thumbnails alone told me a couple of things. This is a person who genuinely is trying. They want to make people laugh. And this is a person that is willing to put themselves out there in a way that I think a lot of creators would hesitate to do. But upon looking at the very few videos that have been uploaded thus far, I felt like, wow, all this person I think really needs is a push in the right direction. And this could be a creator who really rises up very quickly because of the type of personality they have. So I watched a couple of clips, some videos. There's definitely some things we could talk about in terms of production value and things like that. But mostly the biggest advice I have for this creator would be to, if you're going to be doing comedy sketches, if you're going to be playing these characters, couple things. In your titles, you're using the names of characters that no one's ever heard of. Right? Yeah. These are your characters, your unique characters. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do those characters. Instead, though, you should focus your titles and your thumbnails on things that are trending, ideally, but definitely things that people can look at on the surface and latch onto. You can be the character when they get into the video. You can even introduce yourself as that character. I'm Dr. Frederick, and this is what we're doing today. But on the surface, like, people don't know who Dr. Frederick is. The thumbnail doesn't really tell us a whole lot, and that's where you're going to be missing a lot of clicks. So that's the first bit of advice, and it goes hand in hand with the second bit of advice I have, which is to jump on those trending topics. As a comedy channel, anything that's going on in the world, anything that is trending on Twitter, you should be jumping on, and you should be bringing your unique perspective to. And because you're the kind of creator who can, like, really put themselves out there, I think this will come easy to you.
Heather, I'd love your thoughts on this, because sometimes we struggle a bit with channels that are trying to make themselves the creator themselves is the IP, and that's going to be the strength of their channel. But when they're a small channel, it means that they have difficulty reaching a larger audience. You know, like skit comedy, family channels. What's the general advice through Think Media when we talk about this?
Yeah. And, you know, I love entertainment channels. There's such a, I even think that there's even new school ways that people are doing entertainment style channels. My kids right now are obsessed with Ryan. I don't know how to say his last name.
Ryan Trahan?
Is it Ryan Trahan? Is that his last name?
It's the Penny guy, right?
The Penny. That's what I mean. So, and the way he's doing it and how he's involving his community, there's so many amazing things that he's doing, but even the content isn't necessarily about him. And so one of the things, I'll pull this back all the way around. When it comes to entertainment channels, one, you want to figure out, how can I involve my audience? Like, what are ways I can involve my audience? Is that figuring out polls that you're doing? If you get to the point where you can unlock the community tab, is it you're asking people on Instagram? Are you in Reddit threads? Like, how are you a part of this community? Number one. Number two is influence surfing. So that means that what are some of the really rising trends that you could jump on? What are skits that are, or topics, or kind of unsaid things that people know about, right? Like, one of the creators I follow is one of the comedians I follow that does a lot of skits. He's actually a Christian. He's a Christian comedian, and it's funny because it's kind of this inside Christian language, and like, Christians get it, and it's funny, and that's why it happens. So he's writing different trends in that. And then third, I would when it comes to being the talent, here's the raw truth. You actually have to be really good. And when you are deciding to do an entertainment channel, the market's going to decide if you're good or not. And that's hard because, like, as a mom and her kids want to do things, I'm like, no, you're good at everything. You're not. And so you really have to decide, are you really good at this? And if it may take a couple years to develop your craft, it doesn't, comedians don't just show up overnight on the internet. Like, they've been developing the craft over a long period of time. And especially the reason I brought up Ryan Trahan, thank you for his last name, Dan, is because of his editing style, the way he's filming it. Like, it almost feels like you're there with him. Like, it's a different way of entertaining and bringing someone into what your world is. So I understand you're doing comedy and skits and those types of things, but how could you be editing in a way that can draw your audience in? How could you be recording in a way that allows for those jump cuts to be happening to keep people intrigued in what you're doing? There's a lot of skill when it comes to how a comedian or how a entertainment channel is grasping their audience and holding their audience in. So I just threw a lot at you, but I think it really comes down to, are you actually talented? Like, when I think about, the shows like American Idol, or what are some of those other shows that are like that? Like, there's American Idol, there's like The Voice. You actually have to be good, right? Like, you actually have to be good. And so if you're choosing to make this where you plant your flag, then I want you to actually be developing the craft of this as well. And that means that if you're going to be a comedian, if you're going to be a skit artist, you should be studying that as a part of what you're educating yourself with along the way as YouTube and what is working on YouTube in this space.
Now, I just wanted to play the first 10 seconds of one of these videos. I'm going to do the Dr. Doofenshmirtz reviews because I think there's something interesting here from a production point of view. Okay, so did you get that? There was an interesting comic intro, and then the audio from the creator came in, and it was very low. It's only in the left channel of my earphone as well, which is really weird. And to me, instinctively, just as a viewer, that instantly turned me off the video because the audio quality was going to irritate me. You know, when we talk about what's the most important thing on video, it's often audio. I think this is a classic example of it. I know they're using a green screen, and a green screen doesn't look quite right, but you know, maybe you can pull it off as some sort of comedic amateur effect on purpose. But I can't get over how low the audio is. And the reason I say that, Dan, is because what we'll be doing tomorrow is, instead of doing channel audits, we'll be doing video audits where we actually go into people's videos and we critique this aspect of creators' content.
Yeah, we've been doing this now for the last few weeks, and the response has been pretty positive. We're literally going to go into channels similar to how we would with audits. There'll be a form you fill out. And you'll be able to go in and you know, we're going to look at videos to help mainly with retention. We want to keep people from dropping off like Rob did in this video in the first 30 seconds. And if they can stay in the first 30 seconds, there's a really good chance they stay through the rest of the video. So we're going to be looking at a lot of different aspects of your actual video content tomorrow.
Yeah, and audio doesn't have to be a huge barrier to a lot of people. Once you figure out the fact that you can make massive improvements with very, very little amount of money. So, you know, there's very budget lavalier mics that can take you a long way. So, you know, I grew my own personal channel to 20,000 subs by using just a cell phone and a lav mic plugged into it. And that was just a huge improvement, just to make it so at least the viewer's experience was not terrible. It was like an instant turnoff. So, like, and I'm dead serious. $20 lav mic, you can get them on Amazon all day long. So you don't have to spend a ton of money. You don't need one of these mics or anything like that. Just, you know, $20. It's a huge improvement. Even if you can't spend it on lighting, green screen, camera, any of that stuff, just start with that lav mic.
Oh, what's that I'm hearing? I'm hearing that this live stream doesn't have enough likes yet for some reason. We have less likes than concurrent viewers, and that needs to be addressed immediately. So if you can click on the like button, if you're enjoying this live stream, that would really help us out. Thank you, Klaxon, for reminding me.
That's the CEO's ringtone, if you didn't know.
There you go. Right, so, whoops, let me get the right link. So we have, I believe, the winner of this is probably the only time this has ever been a competition, but the best Boys to Men Fish lyrics prize winner is Tell Your Story. And so we are going to audit their channel, and they're about addiction, sobriety, life. Okay, that's the value proposition. I know I'm in the right place immediately. Good stuff. I'll just open it to the floor. What are your first impressions here?
Let's see here. Okay.
Do they do any long form content, or is it only shorts?
It appears to be mostly shorts. Oh, no, wait. Here we go. There's one. There's two.
Yeah, one there at 4 minutes. Generally shorts.
Yeah, for the most part. Interesting.
23andMe. You're a failure. Listen to this. How long have they been creating, Rob? Oh, lots of, okay. Yeah.
At least a year. Yeah. And generally shorts throughout. I did see a couple of professional thumbnails here. They did experiment with some long form content for a while. But it looks as if they're at a current plateau of they can't get over, they're getting like generally less than 100 views per short at the moment. You know, a couple of them are going above that.
Yeah, one of the pieces of advice I'd have for a channel like this is actually the angle at which you're doing your content. So yes, it is about sobriety. Yes, it is about was it overcoming addiction? But like, what is the angle of that? And one of the things I recommend is actually looking at blog, like what are some blogs or some magazines or other forms of media that you can actually be pulling their titles and video ideas from? Because when it comes to making content about your own personal story, while that's great, how does it serve the audience? So really thinking about, is it 7 ways to overcome X, or things like that someone would actually be looking for. Your story can be a part of that, but a lot of times when I see this happen, I was just coaching someone the other day where she's helping women through miscarriage, and a lot of it was actually just her personal story. And I said, with a channel like this, when you're talking about overcoming something, one, yes, people do like to hear stories about it, but two, how does it help them? And really thinking about the audience you're trying to serve at that. So could you be doing interviews? Are there things that you could be including in there? So like stay sober during the holidays. Staying sober during the holidays, that's actually a really great title. I wonder if there could have been a different spin on maybe the content that's delivered. So without seeing the analytics on that video, I think it's a great title for what it is. For me, without watching the video or knowing, like, were you actually delivering that content in a way that is helpful to the actual audience? That might be a piece. So a lot of times with channels that are helping in this way, when it comes to being a first person point of view, it's still always remembering the person you're trying to serve and why should they be clicking on that video. Also, when someone is at the beginning of a process, they may not know that that's what they need, if that makes sense. So you could even be making videos like maybe they are trying to get sober. Sober is still the word to go after, but I'm just wondering if there's actual questions on the vidIQ what is that called? The questions one, where you could put in like sobriety, and then there's all the questions about sobriety. I would just start knocking down those questions, because that's actually what someone is typing into the YouTube search bar to bring them to that actual problem that they have. That's what I would say in terms of maybe the titling and the types of videos that you're doing for this. Yeah, for this creator. I think the thumbnails are really great. It looks like he has some type of a background, maybe in graphic design or in media in general, just because of just kind of that look, right? Like it kind of has like that cool look to it. So probably some type of background in that. But what else are you guys seeing?
I looked at this one, Heather, and I was thinking, and I'm just giving like a different approach more than I'm disagreeing with you. I was thinking about how to make this about your audience. And my guess is that for a topic like this, you would want to make that potential viewer feel something as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering how to retitle this, like staying sober during the holidays. I was wondering if something more curious or emotionally connecting with the audience might be something along the lines of holidays are the worst for addicts. Mm-hmm. And then like, so he doesn't have a smile on his face. Mm-hmm. You are definitely tapping into a different emotion, and maybe that's not what you want to do with your content, but maybe the thumbnail and the title needs to get that viewer in there, and then you can start to reshape the viewer's attitude. And that was just a thought of a different approach, because I look at some of these titles and they're not, a lot of these maybe don't make me feel enough in terms of if I was an addict. Best advice I ever got, must hear. Is that enough? That feels a bit cliched as a potential title, but that's just what was running through my head. I'd welcome Dan and Jeff's thoughts if you have any as well.
Real quick, I am seeing, I'm seeing like banning abortion, 23andMe, Texas elementary school shooting. Like that also isn't about sobriety or, and so also even topical is maybe confusing for what it is. What are some of the best viewed videos, Rob? And maybe we can see if he is hitting a market in some way with this title. This also to me lends podcast style. Okay, look, he's telling someone else's recovery story. recovery story might be I mean, that obviously it's going to take time to produce and those types of things, but you could hop onto StreamYard like we are right here and interview someone. You could start an interview show. You could pull clips from that. But I think it is this also, just knowing from addiction being in my family, that this is a communal thing. Like when you're trying to overcome addiction, you don't actually want to do it alone. You want to do it in a community that understands and supports you. So actually drawing that community in more could be a really wise thing. But I would say that maybe some of the topics that you're currently doing as shorts, it almost feels like just a views grab. And I'm not into the market of just getting views for views. To me, I would rather get less views if they are the right views than get more views if they are the wrong views. And so I want to make sure that your channel is staying cohesive to the market that you're actually trying to serve.
Especially if one of these trending topics goes viral.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've really nailed your existing audience into the ground on your channel. And YouTube is going to be really confused about who should be watching your content. Dan, Jeff, anything you spotted here?
I agree. That was one of the problems that actually came up a lot at VidCon was people that had gone viral for a video topic that their channel was not about. And it's tough because it puts you at a real impasse on your channel to what to do, either crush that video or go a different direction. So it's a rough one. So you definitely want to stay consistent to your target audience for sure.
And I just ran through sobriety in our questions generator and like what we get wrong about sobriety. So I think that's a really interesting topic. Like how the general, how people not affected by it have these certain assumptions and opinions. What happens to the first 30 days of sobriety? So that's more educational.
Great.
What does 1 month of sobriety feel like? So again, trying to get into those feelings and emotions of how somebody who's going through this and how you're going to connect with them on that level. And obviously the thumbnail has to be really powerful as well. But and also I just want to, I always try to remember to say this, for any creator who is brave enough to be this vulnerable on YouTube, to me, it's almost the views and subscribers, I know this is going to sound a little weird, are irrelevant if just one person has been positively impacted by your content and has made a huge difference in their lives. And these are always the sexiest, most viewed channels to earn the most amount of money, but you're making a huge difference with your community. And I always celebrate those creators on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really good too. And even saying that, Rob, these types of channels, they can have major impacts in people's lives, but there's also business models you can wrap around this. There's brands that would want to partner with you and put ad spots and placements into your videos. Depending on what your path is, maybe you decide to do an online course of some kind. Maybe you want to create your own community on YouTube where you could be doing memberships like vidIQ's doing, right? There's a monthly membership. You could be a part of a community. So there definitely is business models wrapped around these types of channels. But I too want to applaud someone who wants to be, who is open and able to be this vulnerable. I would say lean into that even more with the content that you're creating, because as a channel like this, people are actually connecting with you. So whereas my channel is more educational and they actually don't care necessarily about me, they care about the camera or the product or whatever that is. In an instance like this, you're actually the talent. You're really the talent and your story is it. And so one of the things I would really recommend doing is actually study storytelling, because even when you are answering those questions, right? Like what did the first 30 days feel like? Understanding how to tell a story. What parts do you pull out? What do you emphasize? Where do you go deeper? In an instance like this, and this is what I was coaching the girl on the other day about miscarriage, is writing that story out and really knowing those pivotal points and emotions that are going to connect your audience. Because once you make that connection, People want to follow people they know, like, and trust. And so you can start to develop that on a deeper level. But I would, in this instance, understand storytelling and understand great interviews. So understanding what questions to ask people as you go deeper into this section. But this could be, I see a video podcast could be possible, a course could be possible, membership is possible. So this is still a great avenue. And I think that you're really going to change people's lives if you continue down this path of helping people tell their stories about addiction.
And all that from some Boys to Men fishing lyrics.
Look at, you never know what you can do in life.
I'm pressing too many buttons here. Right, let me press that button again. Because we've just entered the more likes than concurrent viewers inception zone. So I applaud you for that. Now for something a little different. Jeff's favorite part of the live stream. It is the claw. What do we mean by the claw? You've been filling out our channel audit submission forms. We've got 400 in non-gaming. We've got 350 in gaming. That's a lot of channels. And we put them all through this claw machine, which is going to pick out random channels. And we audit what we see on first impressions. Oh, Jeff, you missed your opportunity. I didn't hear you there. 236.
Oh, I thought you had the button. What happened?
I wasn't prepared to press it. I wasn't ready.
The claw. Oh, did I miss it?
Claw. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
2 minutes later. Metal Bricks, our first Lego channel of the week, and this looks to me, on first impressions, that it's going to be a stop motion Lego channel based on the thumbnails and the length of the videos.
So
this one
out of the gate there, so right off the jump.
Do you have anything to say?
My dog stepped on a bee.
Okay. I don't see how that has anything to do with what.
My
cool. Okay. Sorry, got distracted by the thumbnail.
What?
It's funny that they're going after trending topics like that.
Yeah.
I think a habit they have is using this bright red background, and then a lot of their Lego characters happen to also be wearing red.
Sure, yeah.
And so that's the first thing I would say is plan your thumbnails out a little bit more, because you may be taking maybe really cool freeze frames from your videos and things like that, which can work. But in this case, I think having a separate photo shoot for your Lego sets so that you can make sure everything is really nice, high contrast. Characters are standing out the way they need to be. That's going to play a really important role. I bet you if we look at some Lego stop motion channels, we can get all the inspiration that this channel needs.
Yeah, just put the minifigs in front of the white plates, and you'll be better off, because the ones that have the white plates in the background, at least you get the contrast of the characters, because the red on red, no, man, it's just not. It just disappears. It just blends in.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at some thumbnail examples here. It looks as if most creators are using a dedicated professional grade camera to get really close up, whereas you look on this one, it tends to lose a bit of a detail. Maybe they're freeze frames from the videos, perhaps, on some of these. I also want to say as well, I know it sounds odd to say this, but Lego stop motion channels are more frequent than what you might think, because we've probably audited like between 10 and 20 of those in our channel audit experience, which leads me to believe that each creator in the space can't just do stop motion Lego as something unique. It needs to go a step beyond that. Like, what's this channel going to do that's different to anyone else? So it means that you're in a saturated market, even though it sounds relatively niche. And it's good that we're seeing that you're tying it into trending things like the Amber Heard steps on a bee. You're also trying to do best fight scenes from Captain America, although that's probably a little bit old now. So we had Star Wars Obi-Wan that just went through its series. We've had Jurassic Park. We've got Buzz Lightyear. There's all of those 3 big franchises that just launched up recently, but I didn't see anything tying it into those things that happened very recently. So like being right on top of the trends, you know, the day it's out or a couple of days beforehand, may be another opportunity for you.
You know what helps too is the fact that Disney and Star Wars, Marvel, and those franchises are very closely tied in with Lego's products.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the times you can get the Lego sets prior to some of these shows even releasing. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. But yeah, I agree with Rob there, and take advantage of trending stuff like what you've done. But yeah, that's a big one.
What do you think to the stop motion quality? Do you reckon it's fairly good, isn't it?
Yeah,
not
it is.
too bad. Not too bad. There was one thing else I was going to say as well. All of these could be shorts. Is it worth experimenting with more shorts form content? Because you have one example here which got 3,000 views. Maybe there's a question there. I don't want to be a shorts creator because I can't make any money off of shorts. Believe you me, if you get views like that and then you can grow your channel over the next couple of years, there are going to be so many money making opportunities within the shorts platform on YouTube in the future that you should be thinking about it now. You know, you might not make any money in the short term, but once YouTube introduces this shopping integration into shorts and other things, it could be a real money spinning opportunity. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that could be potentially converted into shorts to experiment with here.
Even today, YouTube has expanded how it pays shorts creators. You used to have to hit a threshold that counted for $100. Now they'll pay you if you're under that. I've gotten $10 from the YouTube Shorts Fund.
Oh, cool.
And then I've also heard that it's up to 100,000. It used to be 10,000 was like the cap, the most you can make from a month. Now it's up to 100,000. So YouTube is putting more money into this. And I'm talking, if you're a channel that's not monetized, you haven't hit the YouTube partnership program, you're eligible for all of this. They want creators to make shorts, and they basically fast tracked you, if you're a successful shorts creator, into getting some money for what you're doing.
Oh,
Jeff,
hopefully Jake can get some of that.
Clear your throats, Jeff. Ready? I'm going to count you down. I'm going to lead you in. 3, 2, 1.
The claw.
Thank you.
Jeff regrets ever doing that. Ever.
The cool thing was when people saw me at
best.
Somebody saw me at VidCon and was like, the claw.
We don't change the format much on this live stream. You're going to be doing that for at least the next 7 years, Jeff,
at least,
to be honest. I can't be bothered finding another random generator so yeah, you're stuck with it.
I don't want to make another
BBQ.
I was gonna say I don't want to make another intro anyway, so I'm stuck with the claw.
All right, then we've got another foodie channel, and Heather, you talked about Joe's Phenomenal being a master of the Foodie Ninja. What is this channel's cooking superpower? Is it?
Well, looks like it's barbecue and grilling, and that bacon wrapped country style pork rib looks amazing. So they're really understanding. It looks like he is understanding how to do that. Oh, look at that burger. Yeah, good food photography. Nice up and close. Looks delicious.
What do you think about the logo on the left hand side?
I know that is a trend that people like to do. I think it's definitely more of the branding play than anything. But if I were to look at that thumbnail on my phone, that would be really hard to read, because it's squished in and it's sideways, and that's not normally how we read text. And so to me, I'm like, you're just kind of taking up valuable real estate that you don't necessarily have to. If you want to put your logo on that image, the food is what's selling it. So it's the topic. It's the title and it's the thumbnail that's selling me. That part of you saying that burger on the side isn't what's selling me on it. So I know that is definitely, I see it a lot in the food space, having those bars on it or having like a certain border around it. Looks like you're also experimenting with a little bit of the shorts content. And I don't know, I would love your guys' opinion. I'm still back and forth on, I know that shorts definitely are great for some channels, but what is your guys' opinion on, obviously he's winning with long form content in a lot of the things that he's doing, and then jumping to short form content. I mean, what do you guys think? Does it bring subscribers? Does it help? What's your take on it?
YouTube themselves have been saying the channels that are growing the fastest right now are the ones who are utilizing both shorts and long form content.
Great.
I think in terms of this type of content and shorts, my thing right now is I think with YouTube Shorts, visually satisfying is the direction I'd be going. So less instructional on how to like make jalapeno poppers, right? And take the most visually satisfying elements of what you do and make that the content. You know, save the how-to stuff for your long-form videos, because it looks like you keep jumping back in, you're giving instructions, and then I get to see food and this. And so take these parts of the video that are way more visually satisfying.
Yeah, the talking head's not working here, is it? I want to see food prep.
Yeah. Because
one of the best ones that I saw doing shorts for their food channel was they were doing the standard how-to, right? They're making the recipe on their long-form content, but their shorts was them reacting to the recipe. So it was basically, it's very visual of them. Like, it's a burger. They're like, you know, eating it, and then you see like B-roll of the burger and it looks amazing. And then it's very short. We're talking like 15, 20 seconds. And right at the end, they're like, hey, if you want to see how to make this, full videos on the channel. And then it just cuts. And it's so quick. But they were doing so well because every video that had a tutorial had a short of them reacting to how it tasted.
I love that.
And it was just pure visual, but it was working really well. So they were successfully tying both types of content into each other. So it's pretty awesome.
Just imagine for a second somebody going into this channel, right, from the YouTube short shelf, and this guy pops up and he's going to teach you how to make something. And you, even if you want to eat it, right, it's so hard to like go into shorts and like save something for later, like it is on regular YouTube. Like, people who are watching these aren't there to do that. They'll stop and watch if they see really visually satisfying, you enjoying that burger, or you like really good at like chopping up some jalapenos or something, and you've just made really visually satisfying content. People will subscribe and they may come watch the long form stuff later. But unless they're actively looking for these tutorials, I just don't think shorts is like the right place. And if they are looking for that, they're not looking in the short shelf.
Yeah, that I was actually thinking the same thing, Dan. And that's where, you know, my advice is, yes, you should do shorts. However, what is the tactic of the short? Why are you doing it? What's the purpose of it? And not just making content for content's sake, but actually making sure that that content is going to lead to something. You know, what is the outcome you want of it? I love how you're scrolling down to Rob, because I'm seeing that his thumbnails did change, right, Jeff? And that's nice because that red lettering is hard to see. That's hard. I don't really necessarily like that.
Too busy.
Yeah, really big.
Incredible commitment from the creator. This is from 2 years ago, and you say, you know, there's definitely thumbnail evolution, like red text on thumbnails. He probably watched one of our live streams and thought that's a terrible idea. Then he started putting his face on the thumbnails, and then he probably watched one of our live streams where we said the hero of a cooking channel is not the creator, it's the food itself. So I think the one last thing we need to fix on this channel is this red logo thing down the left-hand side. I guess what I will say is that, you know, this creator is very committed, very passionate about his topic, and is creating content still. But like over the 2 years, they're still not getting that many views. It feels like they're putting their head against a wall. What do you think might be holding this channel back? It's a tough one, isn't it? I'm hearing silence because, like, you know, the thumbnails are good. They're staying on topic. They're consistent. Why isn't this channel got more views than getting more views on a regular basis?
My thinking would be the seasonality around cooking channels, depending on what type of cooking that they're doing. So they have an ebb and flow naturally to the kind of content that they're making. So that would be my first guess, because the same thing we see with baking and with different types of channels where they get that ebb and flow based on what they're doing. Tax channels is another example of seasonality. So that could be a part of what's going on here at a glance. Without knowing the analytics, it's tough to say, but that'd be my first guess.
Yeah.
I would also say too, I mean, yeah, there are endless types of content you could be creating, but one thing that Cowboy Kent, he has a few million subscribers now. One thing that he started doing was he was following trends. So he was like making a Big Mac at home. That is a trend and people want to do that. So how could you maybe be thinking about maybe the top 5 competitors in your market? Go and study their channels. What are people watching? Because just because you're making content doesn't mean it's the content people want to watch, and it may not be what they actually want to cook. So maybe going and doing more research on really trending videos and going deeper into making those, because I understand, especially in something like this, you can make endless content, but that doesn't mean that everyone wants to watch it. So what do people actually want to watch? So if it's around, you know, St. Louis style ribs, I would type that into the YouTube search bar and I would see what's coming up. Is that a popular search term? You know, so that would probably be one of my things. I would also say too, when you're clicking into those videos, the first thing I'm seeing is not the food.
Yes, good, well observed.
You know, I'm here for
Carry
it,
on,
Rob.
yeah,
I've been doing this for a little bit. But I'm not seeing the food. And the food, again, is the hero of what you're doing. And so I want to be salivating by the first 30 seconds of what's happening. And I'm not getting any of that. I'm jumping right into who you are, which if I'm brand new to the channel, I'm not clicking on it for you. If I were to search that, I'm actually clicking on it to click and see bacon wrapped country style pork ribs. That's what I actually want. You're secondary to that entire thing. So I would be maybe switching up the order of the video of how you're producing your video content, because people might not be clicking on it, or they might have clicked on other videos and now you're being suggested. They're not clicking on yours because you're not actually delivering the goods right off the bat. So if there's anything that you're making, if there's any end result in anything on your channel, make that the first thing they see. There's a reason that when you jump into a Tom Cruise movie, he's hanging from a helicopter, flying over the thing with a guy shooting him down. And you're like, where are we? What are we doing? This is amazing. You jump right into the climax of what it is. That same thing should happen if you're doing weight loss things, if you're baking anything, if you're making anything craft-wise. You want to give the audience right away. You want to give them you want to give them that hit. You want to give them that adrenaline of what they've actually clicked on so that they will watch more.
Folks, that was another Heather knowledge air horn. Also, I want to say this is the worst channel to audit at 12:30 p.m. on a Tuesday because I am starving and I am days away from being able to eat any of this type of food. I'm having soup for lunch, and we've just been auditing all of this for the last few minutes.
Soup for lunch, Rob.
Hot dirt water.
That does not sound good. No.
I also realized that we didn't audit a gaming channel, and I think I picked 2 non-gaming channels. So I better remember to audit an actual gaming channel this time. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Do you want to audit the next channel in that voice?
Oh, come on, man. Can't do that.
He just got back from VidCon and he's busting out the claw voice. And it's probably really hard on his throat.
Crazy Casper number duh. Welcome to YouTube. Let's offer some starting advice for this channel. Starting with you, Heather, what's the one thing this creator should maybe do in the next week?
Okay, first, you're going to want to update your avatar because right now it's just a K, and I want you to be a legit content creator, and I want you to have your avatar, which is that circle K, and I want you to create a banner. I also want you to fill out your about page because with those 3 things, you can start to piece together what your channel is actually about. I can tell here that you are just getting started, right? 6 views, 2 views. So maybe just that learning curve of getting started on YouTube has been the first step. And I want to congratulate you for joining the platform and becoming an online creator. Now we've got a lot to learn. So the next thing I want you to do is rewatch this entire video so you can hear all the critiques that we've gone through on all the different channels. But these are actually my new favorite channels that I've learned about from VidIQ. I did not know that these were not real race cars. This is a game. This is so cool. It looks so real.
This isn't real. We're in the Matrix right now.
This is real? No, this is a game.
This is real. Real game.
It's a real game. Yes. But
but that looks so real.
So cool.
All right, then, Heather, that was several things. Thank you.
I know, sorry.
Dan?
I just took it all because I love new creators coming to the platform.
What's another one thing, Dan, that this creator may want to think about in the next week or so?
One thing. It is titles. Why should I watch F1 22 Career Mode Part 1? Battle with Red Bull. Battle with Red Bull sounds kind of interesting, but all that stuff in front of it is just kind of like metadata jargon.
File name.
Exactly.
Territory, yeah.
Also, part 1, part 2, it's a racing game, and I don't mean to be rude here, but I really don't think that people in a racing game need to watch part 1 to understand part 2, right? You're probably doing different races, there are different things going on. Focus on why somebody should watch your video, not what. Don't think of titles, don't take them for granted. Don't take them as like simple, like I just got to put something on this. Really consider, why should somebody watch this video? I took the time to record it, edit it, upload it, put it on YouTube. What is it? Why is it unique? Go look at other F1 channels and see how they are doing their titles, their thumbnails, what challenges they're getting into, what they're getting up to.
Jeff, one more piece of advice for this channel, if there is anything left to advise.
Oh, I don't know. That's a little tough, man. Not much left here. But I agree. I agree a lot with the file names for titles. Definitely shouldn't do that. You got to give people a reason to click. That's really what it comes down to. But also start thinking about your goals. And I know this is a kind of a big brain kind of a thing when you're first getting started, but start thinking about what you want to do, right? Like, do you want to show gameplay? Do you really want to take the easy route, or do you want to start providing value, right, to the viewers, giving them a reason to come back, giving them a reason to subscribe, right, showing them how to do things? So that's one of the reasons why I had just a couple months ago, when Gran Turismo had just come out with a new version of it, one of the reasons I subscribed to a specific channel was because they were showing what the different cars, the different tuning options, the different races, the different techniques. Before that, for the when Forza Horizon 5 came out, there was a guy who was doing the daily challenges. He was putting out a video every single day on how to get past some of these daily challenges. That's a value to somebody like me who just got the game. So really start thinking about what kind of channel you want to be and how you can start providing value. So always try to think of YouTube, and this goes for everybody in the chat. Try to think of YouTube in, from a place of value. How can I give something to the viewer before I ask them to subscribe to my channel?
My final piece of advice would be, is you created 2 videos in the last 8 hours. For long form content, that's probably a little excessive, and I'm worried you might burn yourself out. So you may want to start to think about, yes, if I do record several videos in one day, stagger them over a couple of days, like 2 or 3 videos a week, possibly, for your content. You want to allow them to breathe a little bit. I also want to acknowledge as well, there's probably some people in the chat now who are losing their minds because they've been submitting their channels for auditing for years. And this person who just started their channel literally 8 hours ago has managed to get an audit. That is both the power and the danger of a claw. We are slaves to its whims. It picks new channels, old channels. We just do what it tells us. But one thing that does control whether or not you get audited a little bit more are our Max members. And this is our second Max member channel review this week. They call themselves Samurai JB, and we are doubling up on another gaming channel. So Dan, do you want to start with what Samurai is offering their audience?
I love that right out of the gate. The first thing I notice is that thumbnail with a big red X on it. Can you play Raft without touching your raft? Can you play this game called Raft without being in the one place that you kind of need to be to survive? I love it. I think you are absolutely, with that kind of content, going in the right direction. What I'm kind of confused about are some of the other things I'm seeing. I don't know what that video is. Grounded, but if I press any button, I die. I don't know what. I guess Grounded is a different game. There's some other Raft videos. Something about Hollow Knight. So other games here make it really hard to follow what's going on in this channel. And it's games that seem like they might be dramatically different from one another. Like Raft is a survival kind of building crafting game. Sure. I don't think Hollow Knight's the same.
Yeah,
I don't know what Grounded is. It could be, but if you're going to try and do these challenges within these survival games, then at least you should be sticking to the survival games. That's like my biggest thing for you. I think you should keep coming from that place of I'm going to play this game, but I'm going to intentionally give myself a challenge or do it wrong or something to that effect. And you can really grow from that, but you got to commit to it. You're kind of posting, it looks like once a week. That's a long time to wait. If I subscribe for that really awesome Raft challenge, and then I have to wait a whole week for you to come back, only for you to play something totally different, that's going to kind of burn me as one of your regular returning viewers. I'm not going to click. And then YouTube's like, I guess Dan didn't really like Samurai JB's content after all.
I do want to go back to this thumbnail for a second, Dan, because we've been talking about this for the last couple of months, trying to find a way to really explain this as simply as possible, in that the best thumbnails and titles are the ones where the viewer doesn't have to think.
Yep.
They just instinctively get the idea in a second, 2 seconds. I would say this is almost a perfect example of that, isn't it? 3 elements: sea, raft, red cross. That catches your attention as you're scrolling through the feed, and then the title just creates more curiosity and will hopefully lead to a click. It's a really good example there. I mean, I think any creator of any size will be pretty proud of that title and thumbnail. As for the content and audience retention, that's a different question.
Yep.
I'm just going to quickly scroll through anything we've noticed in particular. They've been around for 4 months, so they're still just finding their way on YouTube. They did start with shorts and kind of like a reaction style content, now moving into long form content. And the views aren't too bad for the subscriber size. You know, there's several videos that get more views and subscribers, even long form content. So that's also encouraging as well. But you're thinking, Dan, for 2 through lines here could be challenges within survival games. That might be where they want to start.
I think if they enjoy doing that, that's what I'd be kind of going for. Because the next video is spin the wheel and fight whatever it lands on.
Yeah,
I think the thumbnail execution there could have been a bit better, but overall it's still another challenge. Like you're trying to take this game and put yourself through something extra that's not necessarily a feature of the game. And people like stuff like that because people who are fans of games like to find new ways to play them. And that's kind of what you're doing. And they also just like people to put themselves in really trying situations too. And they enjoy watching that.
Cool. So that was our second VidIQ Max member. And they were able to use that perfect of getting onto that form with a lot less people submitting. But after this, they can jump into the Discord chat, talk about what we've discussed in this. They can share more thumbnails. They can join all of our VidIQ Max coaching sessions. Jeff, it's just the best thing on earth, isn't it?
Yeah, so far it's been excellent, man. You know, we love the community. It's excellent, and they're getting a lot of feedback. You know, Samurai's been asking a lot of questions about titles, about video ideas, things of that nature. So yeah, it's been great. You know, that's the true, I think more than anything else, the value that we have from the VidIQ Max community in helping each other grow and getting ideas, getting feedback on thumbnails, titles, video topics, structure. We're even going in and looking at individual videos to see how people are going into their intros. How is the editing, things of that nature. That's the real value, I believe, from VidIQ Max.
Awesome stuff. The link is in the description there if you want to use it. And we are now going to audit another channel on the list. 111, Fact for Fun. They look a little bit like this. 150 subscribers almost, mostly shorts. And I'm seeing a preference for information about our solar system. So I'm wondering if perhaps the channel knows more of a focus than it did when they started, and maybe a little bit of a rebranding here possibly needed, because it's facts about a particular thing and promising numbers. I think what I find interesting here is that even though it's shorts, the view counts are really consistent. You tend to see very spiky views up and down with shorts, but it's almost as if, as opposed to the YouTube Shorts algorithm just randomly testing this with some of their shorts, they've already found a core audience, and that audience is whenever YouTube supplies the viewer with one of these shorts, they're staying on and watching it. With the exception, of course, with the very latest video is a video on demand. So we've just tested long form content. Any general thoughts coming here for a channel which is only 2 weeks old as well? Well, that's a really good start for a channel of this type.
I was going to say that is a lot of content, but it's fine if that's. I just want to make sure you can be consistent over a long form. Over over a consistent amount of time. I hope you can stay consistent. Is
think-
that what I mean to say? Yeah.
I think it's one a day, from what I can tell.
Oh,
Heather. It
one
looks
a
like they-
day.
I think they are sticking. You know, they're being very disciplined
Mhm.
and making sure that it's just one shot a day, which I think is good to see as well.
Yeah, yeah. So they're definitely putting in a great amount of effort. I would say even like right there, you want to also just know where the
Yeah.
where your text is. Your text, so you know, you want to be viewing it on your desktop. You want to be viewing it on your phone. That is a huge thing that I see creators. They don't actually see what it looks like. Like, what is the viewer's end experience? I'll bet if you just maybe move those things up or really understand more about that, that could maybe help increase the views that are happening on that.
Yeah, we should probably do this at vidIQ actually, and like build a recording. What would it called? Danger zones, where you know you shouldn't have any important
safe
facts,
areas.
text, safe areas. Yeah, so you know that the bottom third is going to be taken up by the subscribe button, titles. The bit on the right hand side is going to be taken up by these engagement metrics, because in this particular occasion, the video is almost being ruined by the fact that how do I get my drawing tool?
Yeah, to drop that in the Slack there, Rob. That's a pretty good idea.
It's really interesting that. But despite that, despite the text being in a wrong location, these videos are still performing well.
Yeah, I like consistency. That's a big thing for me. And when we talk about consistency, we don't just talk about uploading videos on the same day or uploading videos at a certain time. It's consistency of, your upload schedule, but obviously who you're targeting and, the topics of your videos. So being consistent with that is helpful. And the fact that they're continuing to go after space facts, or they're drilling down on that, I like to see it. And also, I did like that title on the first video. It got me it made me do a double take. So I was like, okay, cool. I like it. It's, it's a play on words. It's cool. They did misspell weird, which is fine. I would just suggest a quick fix in that thumbnail, because weird is misspelled. They added an extra E where it doesn't belong. But that's not a big deal. That's something that can be easily fixed. But yeah, hopefully they start going into a little bit more on the long form content. I'm a nerd. I love space content. So, watching that stuff and learning more, especially from newer creators, I love seeing it.
I would love to know the traffic sources of this channel. I'm fascinated. Is it all shorts traffic? They're getting these views from somewhere else, because engagement looks good for these videos. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
I was gonna say, kind of jumping on that point, I think it's shorts traffic. I think what these do is they kind of tick that visually satisfying box as soon as they start, and then especially, I don't know if there's audio or not, if it's just text, but
don't think there was.
Oh no,
robot voice.
Robot voice. Well, other than that, I think people are watching these. I think this is a perfect type of video for shorts, because you have, cool looking pictures, and then also explaining, did you know this and this and this? And so people can just get that really quick. I mean, space is something that I think everyone is interested in to some degree at any given time. I think if you hit somebody with some space facts, they're like, huh, cool. And that seems perfect for shorts.
So Dan, you made a noise there when I said robot voice, and I think for shorts it's more forgivable, because the AI voice is very much a TikTok thing, short form content. I'm just curious if this is the same for long form content.
Most crazy facts about Uranus.
Yeah, this is now when it's long form content, there's much less tolerance, in my opinion, for that text voice.
Yeah. So
we're not saying yet, but maybe you want to think about a professional voice artist or something, which is going to add even more IP and unique properties to your content. But that may be where you fall over in a long form game if you're going to use an AI voice. From our experience, there are exceptions.
Yeah, we've seen it too. There was a channel that I was following that was doing professional voiceover. They were like a listicle type of channel, but they were very specific to a niche. And they had a professional narrator, amazing accent, but perfection. Like the way that he would read the scripts was just on point, add little tidbits in there to make it very human. So it was very good. Then they switched over to something that sounded like this guy, but it was obviously an AI or just kind of like a robo voice thing. So it would mispronounce certain words, and you knew it was immediate giveaway. And they went back to their actor, and now it's like everything all is right with the world now. But it was just one of those where it was scary to see how close it got. It was almost like they found a bot that could mimic the guy's voice. It just couldn't pronounce certain things correctly.
Okay, Heather, you've now been a regular guest here on the vidIQ live streams, and so far everything has appeared, casual, friendly, sometimes entertaining. But a word of warning, we're going into the realms of the very weird right now, and I hope you will still be our friend after this happens.
All right, let's see what we got here going on. It's terrible. What a waste of technology. I don't know why people do this to themselves. Absolutely trash. I am the one that fears nothing. I don't fear any technology. I don't fear any controversy. And today, ladies and gentlemen, you've all been waiting for. You've been asking me on social media my thoughts of the most controversial thing that's happened in the last 27 years of the world. And I will tell you right now, I'm against it. Taco Bell, you canceled the Mexican pizza again, and I'm through with you. No more. We will not stand for the removal of the Mexican pizza ever again. We are standing the Mexican pizza. Everyone in the chat right now, I want to put hashtag Mexican pizza come back. I've never been so furious in my entire life, Rob. I can't believe they did it to me. They brought it back. They got my heart pounding and my wallet open. And then they took it away from us again. I've not been so furious. Have you seen all the hashtags across the internet? It's controversial. That's right.
Hello, Savage. How are you? Say hello to our guest, Heather. Please be nice.
Hello, Heather. It's your pleasure to meet me. I appreciate you for being here today. I assume they're paying you well to be here, because that's the only reason I'm here. Anywho, why don't we go ahead real quick and do one of these Savage Audits very quick. We can finish this up and I can have my non-Mexican pizza. I got to go get an American pizza. That's the cringiest thing I've ever heard of in my life. Who wants to eat an American pizza when Mexican pizza exists? It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. What's up, everybody? Chat. Oh, there goes the chat. Thank you very much for your approval of the Mexican pizza comeback, and make sure to put it all in your Snapchat, your Instagram, your MySpace, your Friendster, your Facebook, your TikTok, your YouTube, your and your Social Security. Next time you go get your check at your job, hashtag bring the Mexican pizza back. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's get this. Who's the first to be savaged?
I'm tired.
I'll just leave it at that. So sometimes, Heather, we get to this point where we want to have a little bit of fun with our audience,
and instead we invite Savage.
Instead, we invite Savage.
I like Savage.
Of course you do. You're a genius.
See what happens next, because now we're offering alternative audits. So let me just stress that the following things that are said are not endorsed by vidIQ, Think Media, or Heather Torres. This is all Savage's own opinion. So let's draw one of these victims. Candidates for a live stream.
Victim for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Kale the Gamer Girl.
I don't know if it's a winner. I don't know if I'd say winner.
Listen, I can already tell you it's going to be terrible because they named their kid after terrible salad. I don't know why you would ever do this. Kale the Gamer Girl, I'm sure you're a lovely person, but I'd feel better about you if you were called like T-Bone Steak, the Gamer Girl. Anywho, let me go ahead and take a look what you got here. You got a little bit of this. Is this Minecraft again? Are we doing Minecraft again? Is this the thing? I mean, we do this every single week. You would think a new video game would come out once every 27 years.
Isn't this
but apparently
Minecraft channel, actually? I think
apparently Minecraft's the only thing. What is it more than Minecraft? Am I missing something? Look, edgy stuff. What is edgy? Edgy stuff? Come on now. Let's see. Hulk plays Resident Evil, military cleric. That's a lot of words that don't mean a lot. Look at it. Can someone read that sentence to me? I don't think that is any kind of grammar that my teacher would let me get out of school with. Hulk plays Resident Evil 2, military cleric, Redfield. Okay, well, whatever. Listen, the people watched it, I guess. Venom's roleplay wife plays Minecraft Part 3. I gotta say, look, whatever you're on, can you pass it over here? Because I can't understand anything that's going on in this channel at all. I love the attempt. Remember those, Rob, I'm sure you're really familiar with these. Remember back in high school, no, sorry, middle or elementary school, you'd get out there on the track and you'd stretch your legs and get ready to do the track thing, right?
Yeah.
And you get on, they say, get on, get ready, get set, go. And there you go. Of course, your entire class is way ahead of you. And you get all the way to the end, and little Rob, and probably over in the UK, lands and gets across the thing, little rip, and they give him that participation trophy. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to give Kale, the Gamer Girl, the participation trophy for being on YouTube. Appreciate you very much.
Nice.
Thank you for eventually getting across the finish line, because some of these people can't even do that. All right, let's do one more before we get into lunch. I'd like to just,
Sure.
Just one more. Bunny sank. Oh, okay, no. Chris Gardner. Got more of this vegetarian stuff. I don't understand why can't we have people that like meat and have YouTube channels? There he is.
Great stuff. All right. Oh,
he's got 900 subscribers. Okay, go ahead. The hardest classes I've taken as a stats major. What's a stats major? Oh, that sounds like something Dan would know about. What's a stats major, Dan?
I think it's probably a college thing. I don't know.
Oh, he went to college and he's on YouTube in the middle of the day watching the VidIQ live stream. What college are you at? I mean, good God. I mean, did you pay for college or did you get on them free scholar? Or is this a community college? Come on, you can tell me if it is. You can tell me. Or is it one of the ones you email in? They give you a diploma after you spend like $125. I actually have one of those colleges. It's called the Savage Academy. If you'd like to have your own diploma from the Savage Academy, go ahead and send $39.95 every 5 minutes over to Savage Academy.
Inflation's not changed that. Still $39.95.
Listen, it's just for now. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I'm just saying we got a sale going on right now. Okay, let's take a look. Stats major, was it worth it? My guess is no. We don't even know what it is. What's a stats major? Is that a UK thing? Because the way they say words in the UK is different than in the regular English.
I don't think it's a UK thing.
Y'all spell potato and tomato all different. With an extra e or something. Y'all, I don't know how do you get along with things? Rob? I know you're not over in the UK anymore. You're up there in Canada, which, by the way, are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Have you ever had that poutine thing?
I hate the cheese curd, so tried it, didn't like it.
Really? I mean, it seems like one of the best things that they've ever come out with. It's probably the best export. That and that Nanaimo bar. Do you know what that is? It's like chocolate with some other thing. Man, y'all got some great fat food, but we got the best. America got you beat. I mean, we got so much fat food down here, you wouldn't even know. Okay, one more. Let me see. The truth about applying for internships. I'll tell you right now. I actually know the truth about applying for internships. Never do it. Because here's the thing. Why would you apply for a job that don't pay you nothing? You don't got to apply. Just knock on the door and say, listen, I'm going to give you free labor. Do you want it or not? Don't apply for it. You just say, listen, do you want it? I'm not going to write on a piece of paper so you can make me your labor. I got kids for that. I don't actually have any. I don't have my own kids, but I got other people's kids to do that for me. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us this week. I appreciate you for coming on through, being a part of the Savage Academy and everything. And, listen, I hope everyone's staying safe. Go out there, get that Mexican pizza to come back. And then we'll all be at peace. And everything's good after that, I think. Did you go? You didn't go to VidCon, did you, Rob?
I did not. No. No. The birthplace of Savage, of course.
Yes, indeed. 2019, Savage was born in one of the lobbies of VidCon, which is kind of strange, but from what I understand now, a bunch of other stuff got born at VidCon this year. Anyway, I hope everyone has a very safe weekend. And Heather, very nice to meet you. You seem like a real nice person. You're over there just smiling, so that's real nice. I like that.
And that was the Savage experience. Can you believe it? 165 people wanted their channel Savage, and a few people did. We are at the end of another eventful live stream. Heather, I hope you still like us after that. It's a pleasure to have you on board. We have now got your own official sound effect, which are the Heather Knowledge air horns. Just tell us again one more time, where are you on YouTube and why should people head on over to Think Media?
Wow, that was the most entertaining I've had on channel reviews in a long time. Thank you, Dr. Savage. That was so good. Don't review my channel. This is
Here's
just
a question.
my cheeky plug,
Heather,
Dr. Savage.
Heather, would you have Savage on the Think Media podcast? Like, shall we bring Savage on instead of me next time?
I mean, I think we should do a dual thing. Like we should bring Dr. Savage at the end of our show, Rob, just to spice it up a little bit. And yeah, I think that'd be so much fun.
You know, that's fine. Listen, I got availability. I accept Bitcoin and pizza for payment. So just talk to my associate producer Dan up there. He can hook you up with everything.
You should talk to your lawyers first.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's so good. So good. Okay, how do I be serious now, Dan? I mean, how do I even? Okay, how do you? Well, just follow us on Think Media Podcast for the not so savage take on being a content creator, and we would love to have you as part of our reviews that Rob and I do every few weeks over on the Think Media Podcast channel. You can also listen to it anywhere you like to download podcasts. And we talk about the life of being a creator, going deeper into building your business, and all of the things that you would need to be successful online. That's all I can do right now because I am still literally like laughing internally from that.
How much do you charge for that podcast?
Free 99.
What? You ain't get, you know, these people in these, listen, let me tell you about these YouTube streets. First of all, these YouTube streets are savage.
YouTube streets are savage.
But, let me tell you something. These people will pay. You got to charge them, man. They want too many free things. We can't give them too much free stuff. I mean, this live stream is free. I mean, actually, here's the funny thing. They think it's free, but what they don't know is when they signed into YouTube today, because, you know, a couple of weeks back, I sent out a bunch of bots where they say, like, here, click on this link and you won, you know, a prize. I know it's been going around on YouTube. I'm actually in charge of all that. I don't want they logged in today. We're actually all going to get $39.95 for the last 5 minutes here. And you check your checking account here later today. We're going to win. We're going to win big. I can't wait.
I need a nap.
Yeah.
And a shower.
What's the transition, Rob? How do you?
I'm trying to get there, but Savage keeps interrupting me. Dan, thank you as always. Jeff, you've been a soldier throughout with your voice. Heather, we'll see you again soon. Last words, as always, Savage, to you.
Look, I just want to say, as a proud person on this planet, I've never been so happy to see people come together and make sure that we get the Mexican pizza back. Because to be honest, I can't do this anymore without that. I mean, I'll be honest, it actually wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as it used to be. I don't know what they did. They changed something to it. I don't know. Anyway, as always, the one piece of advice that you cannot go without that makes sure you get 1 million subscribers in 1 year is this.